9 months ago, I started the craziest side quest of my life, restoring this abandoned castle built by my father. I had almost no money, no construction experience, and one goal: to turn it into a place that can generate enough income to save itself before it goes up for auction. Because if I fail, I could lose my family's castle forever. That's why in the last episodes, we continued restoring the first room that we want to rent out. But because our budget is extremely tight, I had to find a way to make it affordable but still beautiful in an old money style. And then my brother came up with a solution. That's why we went searching for French paneling. But specialized stores told us that covering just one wall with paneling would cost around $1,200, and that was way too much for our budget. That's why we went to a regular construction store to find a more affordable solution, and somehow we got lucky. We found high-quality French paneling for only $300. So we bought the panels, all the necessary tools, and went back to the castle to install them. First, we set up the laser level. Then we marked the lines with a pencil. And after that, we started installing the panels in the center of the wall. We applied glue and started attaching them piece by piece. But for the corners and angled cuts, we had to use a special tool to cut everything properly. And while the wall was slowly starting to change, another problem appeared. The ceiling seams I had filled before still needed sanding. That's why we took the sanding tool, smoothed everything down, removed the uneven spots, and cleaned all the dust. But the ceiling still needed paint, so I prepared the tools and took out a special castle-style lime wash paint. Then my brother and I mixed it with water and started painting. In the last episode, I asked for your opinion on what color we should paint this room. And because there were several favorites, we decided to paint this room in a latte color. But the other rooms will have another color, and you will see that very soon. Then we stepped out onto the balcony and saw a little squirrel. And honestly, it felt like a good sign. But the hardest part was still ahead. It took us many hours of measuring, calculating, making mistakes. But finally, we measured and drew the lines for the French paneling. Then came the best part. We finally unpacked the panels, measured them to size, cut them, and the first rectangle was ready. And I cannot explain how satisfying it was to watch this room transform right in front of our eyes. Slowly but surely, the bottom row was finished, and that's why we moved to the top row, measuring, cutting, installing, and cleaning the extra glue with a spatula. But then my brother started cutting the pieces himself, so all I had to do was glue them to the wall. And if you also have a story, a project, or a dream you want people to care about, I made a guide with the exact system I used to grow this castle journey. The link is in my profile. And even though we still have a very long way to go, I am not doing this alone. I have my brother, I have all of you, and I have a strong belief that somehow we are going to make this castle work.